So everyone, welcome to the Mastermind Book Club. It is an exciting time because we have reached half of the year. We're starting the summer season. So 2020 is halfway done and halfway into this roller coaster ride that is now going to become excitement, all positive. We're going to get the best out of what has happened already. We have taken care of each other. We have taken precautions. We have been in quarantine. So now it's time to learn the best out of that moment. And what is the best? We have all kept on educating ourselves, learning from these books, building our businesses, getting to the next level. The book that we're covering tonight is called Directional Thinking by Benjamin Allen Chapin. Benjamin Allen Chapin. He's a first-time author. However, he has quite an experience, array of experience behind him. So this book, Directional Thinking, what is it about? Well, I want to ask you a few questions in reference to what I learned from Allen Chapin's book, Directional Thinking. Number one, are you owning that you need a change in whatever it is that you're doing? Now, I'm not saying that you're not on the right path, but what I'm saying is, do you know you have to dedicate a little bit more time to whatever it is that you want? Do you know that you have to be a little bit more specific on accomplishing what you want? Do you know that you need to have specific times of the day where you are working on whatever it is that you want to achieve? Number two, feeding. Are you feeding yourself positive thoughts? And what does Benjamin Allen Chapin mean by this? Well, let's just put it this way. I was in the elevator today with a delivery person, and I know that I should be saying certain things to him. Well, what I told him, man, is something along the lines of, man, did we survive this craziness? But the reality is, why did I say that? What's the benefit of saying this negative thing? And it was too late because the elevator door closed as I was saying that. But becoming aware is part of the process. And then two is implementing it. So I'm becoming more aware of this negative talk, and I'm going to try and take it away as much as I can. Recall the positive situations in your life. That is one method that Benjamin Allen Chapin recommends to improve your directional thinking. Recall the positive situations in your life. Let's say you closed a deal. How did you close it? Because you made a speech. It could have been 1 minute, in one sentence, or it could have been 10 minutes. But whatever it is that you did, close that deal. So recall these positive situations where you owned the day, where you made the big sale. Even if it's a small sale and you feel it was happy, it made you feel content, you should be able to own that positive feeling. How much time do you have on one of these two things? Most of us have not measured ourselves on these two things. How much time do you have on positive thinking versus negative thinking? How much time do you have on negative thinking versus positive thinking? Where focus goes, energy flows. Where energy flows, focus evolves. All right? Doesn't rhyme, but the reality is, if you spend a lot of time with negative people, negative thinking will evolve. The negative process will take over. So maybe it's time for a change, or maybe it's time to advance that positive thinking. All right? Focusing on the good. When was the last time that you focused on the good of a terrible situation, or what seemed to be terrible? All right? That's more appropriate. What seemed to be terrible. And what do I mean by that? is, for example, the guy in the elevator. I told him, you know, we're getting out of this horrible situation. What's the focus on that? That I noticed immediately I said the wrong thing. So that should be our focus. The positive, not the negative. Yes, I did start out with a negative, but the positive should be where the focus goes. What if you fail at your business, at your relationship, at whatever it is you're trying to create, at leaving your job? Let's say you want to leave your job and all of a sudden you have no job. You could be an intrapreneur instead of an entrepreneur. What's the difference? An entrepreneur works for somebody else, however, expands on their business development skills within that company. So it is possible. What if you fail? Fine. Now you know there's one less way of getting the things right. So you're getting closer and closer to getting it into perfection, to improving whatever task you're trying to do. Now, what are the examples that the author offers? Audio was a company that created the podcast, some type of podcast, but at the same time, Apple was released some information that they were going to put 200 million podcasts in their iPod. So what did Audio do? Audio could have given up. They could have just failed right then and there, and they probably did fail. However, what did the owner do? He said, everyone in the company, it's time to start thinking of a way that we can implement something bigger. And boom, Twitter was born. I use Twitter pretty much daily, pretty much. It's very important. It has grown. Maybe it's not huge, but I'd say it's around for some time. Another example is that this author uses is two men looked through prison bars. One saw mud, one saw stars. Obviously, we read this book from where this came from. I don't know if many of you remember, but there are a few books that make reference to this example. You choose to look at whatever you want to see. You can see the brown stuff of life, or you can see the color green of life, the yellow of life, the red of life, the blue of life. All right? You choose. Viktor Frankl, who was presented in the concentration camps in the 40s, could have chosen to just give up and probably have been executed. But instead, he chose to see himself giving speeches outside, as imagining himself giving speeches as he was in the concentration camps, imagining being with his family, imagining himself having dinner, imagining himself in all these positive aspects. This is directional thinking. Are you doing this? Is this part of your meditation? Or are you just meditating without a purpose and trying to get it right in the right direction? What do you see? Do you see a rose with thorns? Or do you see a thorn bush with roses? Anyone care to give an answer? There's no right or wrong.
They both work. Depends
right?
on what side of what side of the brain you're operating on, or what side of thought patterns are.
They both work. However, the way that is explained, that I can reason, maybe I'm wrong, but oh, you see a rose, oh, but it has thorns. So that's one way to look at it. Or look at the thorn bush, and it has a rose. So that's another way to look at it. So I'm not saying that they're both wrong or that they're both right. It depends on your perspective. All I ask, just like the author asks us to do, is add perspective, make sure it's a positive feeling instead of a negative one, right? So this book, this is how you use this. Number one, be aware of all the negative talk that goes around in your life. Maybe you're doing it just like I have been doing it. And maybe you're in need of, whoops, let me mute that. Okay, good. So maybe you're in need of having some reminders to not do this negative talk. Or maybe you're around negative people who say, you can't do that. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to embarrass us all? And if someone tells you something like that, that's the reason you should keep going forward, because the opportunities come as you persist. Directional thinking is our need to change, to focus on the positive thinking, to recall positive ideas, to focus on the good, and it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. Whenever you see a situation, just remember there is at least two ways to see things. At least. The one that you're looking at, it will probably at the beginning might not be the one that you want. So you've got to take that extra time to see it from a different perspective, or ask someone to assist you with seeing it from a different perspective. What do you see? You should be seeing the best out of life, because the worst is easy to come around and it's easy to push you off the cliff. So this is it for the review today, directional thinking. I know there's much more to review. I want to make it simple and succinct so that you get the best out of this book. And how do you apply this to your meditation? Remember that where focus goes, energy flows. Whatever you're thinking, whatever you're meditating on, you will create that energy, and let that energy be your best part of the day, whatever it is. All right, so this is it for directional thinking. If one of you wants to say anything brief in reference to this book, what you might have listened to, you're welcome to talk.
I'm gonna say I mean, not that there's any more profound than anything. I mean, but we know this and we've heard this many times. But this idea of obviously how you think and what you think could really propel you and push you in the direction of where you end up going. Whether it's where you could choose to go, it doesn't matter. You know, whether you wanted to go there, it doesn't matter. It's like you're going to be affected, regardless of the fact of which way it is. You're going to be affected by your thoughts. So that's a big thing that people need to understand, because you can really channel and direct yourself where you want to go. If that's your intent, you can really empower yourself by thinking a certain sort of way. But the thing that's like even very, very, very profound, and you know, we've heard this all before, but it's very profound when I heard it again, this sort of idea that you can have this one thought that can really be the major one thought. Back, you know, you go back to that book where it talked about the one thing.
Yes.
I'm going to say the one thought. You can have this one singular thought that can really, really, really set you off in a certain path. So it's not even just about thinking in general, which obviously is a big deal, but it could be that particular thing that you think about and that you continue to think about that can hurt you, that can help you, that can make you sick, that can bring you up, that can lift you, whatever. So that's like a really big deal. And so now when you start thinking about thoughts in general and positive, negative, whatever, so you can have these positive thoughts, you can think, then you can have these certain types of thoughts which can be positive, and then you can have this one particular thought that can put you on the grand stage of life, right? And then can propel you going forward. So I just like that idea that it can really come down to that, and you are the author of that, and you just have to understand that so that you can actually make things go the way that you want them to.
Correct. Thank you, Reggie. That is right. You are the author, and always ask yourself, what is the one thing that I can do right now such that everything else will be easier or unnecessary? And Reggie just reminded me something that I was looking it up here. I have a few questions that I wrote down to ask myself on a daily basis, and guess what? I wasn't asking myself these questions. And as I looked in a little bit closer, I was like, man, I'm really way behind. I should have been asking myself this way back. So I want to let you know what these questions are because I think they can benefit you and me, if that is okay with everyone. So let me just get these questions right. I believe it's right here. Let's see. Let's see. Where'd it go? Sorry. Um, okay, here it goes. So these are some questions I asked myself. You don't need to write them all, but if you want to, you can write them. What small trivial step can I take to improve my business, health, or relationships? Right? Number two, if I were guaranteed not to fail, what would I do differently right now? The brain answers truthfully to these questions. Remember that. What is one small step that I can take every day to reach my goals? What is one small step that I can take every day to reach my goals? What is the one small thing that is special about my spouse? What is the smallest, most trivial step that I can do for 1 minute a day to improve my wealth, health, or relationships? If I knew that I am going to make X amount of money by X date, what small steps can I take daily to start receiving that money incrementally? If I knew my kids will become servants of the Lord, what small steps can I take to communicate the message of God to them? Now, you can make your questions up as you want. However, when you ask yourself questions like these, empowering questions, man, this is a meditation session right there in itself. So this is what directional thinking is about. And so thank you, Reggie, for that. And I know Charles wanted to say something. He took a lot of notes, so I wanted to give him a chance. I know that other people might want to speak, but if that's okay. Charles, go ahead.
I was just really looking at a couple different things that I got from the book. Uh, Not to belabor it, is spend your life and time being, positive, developing a conscious effort, and it would develop into your subconscious and vice versa. If you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. Be positive, think ahead, seeing the solution, see the winning end of your goals and achievements. Our insights and our thoughts are controlling the influence of our life. We need to stray away from negative and focus on positive thoughts. Positive thoughts are and goals are give us our mind a directional track to run on. Avoid the news, the press, and pessimistic people. Negative conversations such as religious doctrines and politics. If you lack, like you said, if you see a rose, what do you see? Some people see and feel the pricks and the thorns, where other people smell and see the colors and the beauty of the pedestals.
Oh, beautiful,
Our
beautiful,
minds,
beautiful.
our minds and our thoughts are the most valuable things we own, and it doesn't cost us millions of dollars. So we can have multi-million-dollar thoughts in our minds that just need to be cultivated and developed. And if we add these to our goals and focus on them daily, we can achieve them. Focus only on development of higher positive. I'm sorry. Focus daily on developing a higher positivity and awareness. Uh, with small steps, you can achieve this. Like you said, just taking a certain increment of time every day to ask yourself, like you said, the questions. And then it says, what is the smallest step to achieve my goals? Like you were talking before with some of the things. And I just enjoyed, I've listened to this book and read this book before, but, a lot of things came back up as far as especially eliminating the negative triggers in your life.
Yes.
People who sometimes they say things or they do things, and you know, to head them off at the pass with positivity, you know, restructuring what they're saying to you. Don't just sit there and accept people. You know, a lot of folks, they belittle you, or they just have a lot of negative things that they want to put out towards you, and you know, you can avoid them, or you know, I like what he was saying, just give them back something positive. You know, I remember a lady every day she would talk about it's going to rain, but the sun is shining.
So
So I'm like, enjoy the sunshine. Don't worry about raining.
that's right. That is right. That is
Oh,
right.
and then the one thing he said that always is like one of my mantras: the 3 feet from the goal. How
Yes,
the
that's
gentleman
right.
was digging for gold, and he found a little bit, but he quit.
Yes.
He quit before he could see the actual results, and he sold the equipment to, I guess, to the guy, to a guy who you know, who
Yes.
bought the equipment from him. That guy, what he did that was smart is he got a geologist to go in and do um, an assessment. So that assessment to me was like, get help. A
Yes.
lot of times you need to just reach out and get help,
Correct.
and you'll hit that gold mark.
Correct.
All right.
Correct. 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 Thank you.
No,
Thank
thank you.
I didn't know there
you.
was a homework assignment.
No homework. However, you know, the best homework is the one that is not assigned. And
Mhm.
this is, I mean,
Yeah. Hey, David, can I
yes,
say a couple?
yes,
I'll be short. Um, I just the two things for me, like Reggie was saying and Charles was saying, there's a lot of stuff in here that is applicable, and a lot of it we've heard from some of the other books that we've read and stuff. But the two things for me that he said was appreciate people. Just like focus on the good, because everyone has some good, in them, family members or co-workers or whatever, you always got that person that's, trying to get on your nerve or whatever. But, just try to focus on the good. They've got some good in them. Try to seek that out, which I thought was real good. And then the other thing is never stop learning. Don't stop learning. Don't stop growing, which of course is why we're in the book club.
yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's beautiful, beautiful the way you said that. And the reality is never stop learning. The the more we learn, the more we are presented by God or infinite intelligence or a superior being the things we need, the things we need. So this is beautiful. I'm glad that you all got a chance to listen to part or the whole part of this audiobook, very short and powerful. And I have a few other books that are short and powerful, and I wanted to end the review of this directional thinking with 3 possibilities of books for next week. And I really would like each of you to think, it doesn't matter which order, but whatever book you want for this upcoming Tuesday. I think the 3 books are very powerful. I'm not going to give in any order, but I'd like you to listen to the titles and just go with what you feel. All right, they're all good. I've listened to most of them, and I won't tell you which ones, but I've all 3 of these I've listened to part of the books already, so I know what they're about. So what are these books? Number 1, all right? Book number 1 is The Feeling is the Secret, the unabridged with commentary. The Feeling is the Secret.
Who's that?
Book
Neville Goddard?
Neville Goddard. Yep. Once I was turned on to Neville Goddard by, I believe it was Gina. Man,
Yeah, he's the man.
he is. He is. So if anyone wants to blame me for staying with Neville Goddard, just blame Gina. Gina's fault. All right. Maybe she's listening. Maybe she's not. I don't know.
He's on.
Book number 2.
I heard that.
So your fault, Gina. Book number 2, My Life with Martin Luther King, Coretta Scott King.
Mm,
Very
that's
powerful
pretty powerful.
book. Very powerful book. I listened to this book as well. and it's amazing. So that's book number 2. And book number 3 is, where is it? Prayer, the Art of Believing by Neville Goddard as well. And I've listened to this one as well. So you've got, again, book number 1 is, where is it? Did I lose it?
Feeling the secret.
Prayer, the Art of Believing. Book number 2 is My Life with Martin Luther King. And book number 3, The Feeling is the Secret. So I'm going to pick on some of you just to see what you vote. Which one is, just pick 1 and 2. That way we get an even count. So Charles, what's your first pick and your second pick?
Just to stay in the same flow, I was thinking either the feeling is the secret or the prayer, the art of believing.
So feeling is your number 1 and prayer number 2. Okay. Martha, thank you.
I didn't read the feeling of the secret. Maybe it was before I came to the.
No. We're just picking a book. Pick the book of the 3 books I just gave. Which one would you like to do for next week?
Yeah, but you said you had this book before. I didn't read it before.
No, I'm not asking you to have read it before. I read it before recommending it. I've listened to them. So I'm recommending these 3 books, and just from the title, you pick which one would you like to listen to next week. To see.
I like the Martin Luther King.
Okay, so that's number 1.
It's
And then number 2 would be feeling or prayer. Which one? Feeling or prayer?
I like feeling of the secret.
Feeling. Okay, so that's number 2 for you. Okay. Ariane, which is number 1 for you?
Say that again?
Ariane, which book would you like to go over next week? As number 1 choice or number 2 choice? My Life.
I don't pick any books because I just listen to y'all.
Okay. We'll forgive you. Bash you later. Reg, which is your number 1?
Well, I was thinking to break the course a little bit and go with Martin Luther King.
Good.
Then it would be 2 of those the Neville Goddard books back to back. So then I was like, do I want to do that?
You don't have to. I have other options as well.
I'm okay with that. I'm just thinking of, what. So I'm going to go with Martin Luther King just to change course a little bit, come back with The Feeling is the Secret.
Yes.
And the prayer book.
Feeling.
If I could go in that order.
Okay, and then prayer. Okay, got it. Yes, you can. Thank you for your input. I like that. Angela? She there? Angela?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Hi.
sorry.
So which
Hi.
is your 1 and 2 choice? My Life with Martin Luther King, Feeling, or Prayer?
I think My Life, Martin Luther King first, and then Prayer second.
Prayer. Okay. Second. All right. Floyd. Thank you, Angela. Floyd, what is your number 1 choice?
Number 1 choice is going to be Feeling, and then King.
King. Got it. Thank you, Floyd. And then 3, Prayer. Gina? Gina Pushi?
Yeah, I'm going to go with, I think I'll do King and Feeling, because Neville Goddard would always be my go-to guy.
Great.
So I'll be listening to him in between anyway.
Thank you. And Tijuana? Thank you, Gina.
Hey.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
What is your choice? Yes, we hear you loud and clear, Ty.
Okay. I was thinking Feeling and Prayer for the second one.
Second. So let me just add these up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. For Life with Martin Luther King. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for Feeling. And Prayer is 2. So Prayer will be the last one. And then the first one will be 10. So let's do, according to this, it's very close. It's 1 point difference. My life with Martin Luther King or feeling. All right. So is everyone okay if we do my life with Dr. King first?
Yes.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yes.
Awesome. This is a really, really powerful book. It's very short as well. It's only 2 hours and 40 minutes or so. So they're very short. And the Neville Goddards are short as well. So I will post in the chat group that we're going to be doing My Life with Martin Luther King. And that way we can cover that powerful book. Coretta Scott King has an amazing voice, just so you're aware. I like her voice.
I like his
So,
voice, very strong.
I can only imagine how beautiful she was when she was young. You know, just putting together her voice and the pictures that I've seen is fabulous. A very smart woman who was educated in Boston, I believe. I don't remember. I think Oxford, I believe. It will say it in the book, in the audio book. I heard a good chunk of this book, really, really good information in there. And it will apply to the things we are going over in this program. And it's also a chance to listen to the wife of Martin Luther King and how she had to work and collaborate with Dr. Martin Luther King. Yes. So this is it for today's session of Mastermind Book Club. Ariane, you and I, we have a date tomorrow. So hopefully we can get together. I've got to update my website and all that craziness. And Ariane and I have got to battle this out. So Battle of the Stars. All right. So I'm going to post this book tomorrow morning. I hope that you get a chance to listen to it once, if not twice. If you get a chance to listen to it once, the second time you can listen to it a little bit faster, in a faster mode. That's what I do. When I listen to it once, I listen to it in a faster mode, and I get some information. I'm not going to get everything out of it, but try and get 1 to 2 things out of it, or 3. All right? Everyone, thank you for being a part of the Mastermind Book Club. I hope that you've had a wonderful session, that you've learned something new that you can apply to your life. The next 3 books are very powerful. 4 books, because I'm going to add 1 so that we don't have 2 Neville Goddards back to back. The next book that I'm going to add in there is it's going to be a 4th one. It's going to be Self-Reliance by Ralph Waldo Emerson. It's a little bit hard to understand because it's older English, but
I have that book.
and what do you think? Good?
I don't remember, but Ralph Waldo Emerson, I don't know how much I read of that, but he says some pretty profound, pretty good stuff. So
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And that's why we're going to,
the number of his books.
these are the 4 books we're going to be covering in the next few weeks. So get ready. They're very powerful. Thanks to Gina and discovering Neville Goddard. I really like Neville Goddard. So I'm going to keep studying him profoundly. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Until next week. I hope that you post your meditation sessions. Even if it's 1 minute meditation, please post it. That way you give us all accountability on saying, man, I've got to do my meditation. That's what happens. When I post meditation, other people will say, man, I've got to do my meditation. I hope Floyd, Gina, well, Gina does meditations, Ty, Angela, Ariane, Charles, Reggie, and Martha, you're doing your meditations because I am doing my meditations. They don't have to be perfect. Remember, it's the act of thinking your reality and extracting it from your brain into energy, creating energy out of it. All right? So keep focusing on your energy. All right? Have a great evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are the best. You are the best. Please look at that picture. I think I sent it to you privately. I didn't post it in the group. I tried to send it to most of you. You know, no matter how bad it gets, You're still way ahead of those who haven't even started. All right? Floyd, Gina, Ty, Ariane, Charles, Reggie, Angela, Martha. You're way ahead of those who haven't started. You're way ahead. All right? Be grateful. This is directional thinking. That's why when I saw this post, I was like, man, I've got to post this because this is part of the book. All right? Nobody caught that. So it's okay. I forgive you all. You're allowed to be in directional thinking. All right? Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you,
all.
David. Thanks, everyone.
Until
Have
next
a good
Good night,
one.
time,
David.
take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.